There is a bit of noise outside because my front porch is getting repaired right now. If I didn't get repaired this time, it would have been basically on its last legs. It would have lost the structural integrity of the entire front end of the house. And I just realized that it is only streaming on YouTube, so I'm going to restart this, and I shall be back. Wait. Hey, let me check something. Okay, just as I thought, so... Oh, okay. Alright, I am live on both, which is good. That's good. So... we're gonna start off... Alright, excellent. So we are gonna start off with a little bit of, sorry for the background, but... I'm doing a little bit of a different setup here, where I have my microphone pretty far. So I had to boost up the gain. This is the only way I could do it without losing my voice. So just have to deal with that. But I wanted to start off with a little bit of an intention here to call in some personal change, to call in social change, and most importantly, to call in peace and love in this current time of discord. Because, especially now, we need all of the help that we can get to experience not only outer peace, but also inner peace. So please, take this time now. Take a few deep breaths and meditate on the change that you truly want to see. In the description down below my YouTube channel, there is a series of links that I have personally donated to, and ways that you can personally help. So I'll paste a link of every single thing that I have basically personally helped out, which is a very long list. So some of these I've personally been members of, or am about to join. I am about to join the CBLDF, the Comic Book Legal Defense Fund, and that's an initiative I've been supporting for years. So no doubt, because of all the things that have been happening recently between COVID and, of course, the protests that have been happening the past few days, comic creators are going to need every single bit of protection that we can give them. So please go ahead and offer a little bit as well. In case you don't feel like donating, or don't have enough money to donate, there is also there's also contributions that you can make make towards these causes through financial donations, through financial purchases. So like whenever you buy something, a percentage would go towards donating to whatever causes that need help. Like Humble Bundle recently, they started doing more charitable donations towards the ACLU and various other organizations for purchasing games, or in the case of CBLDF, manga that you can purchase, and bits of that purchase will go towards COVID or protest relief. And even if it seems like there's enough to get through, there's enough to get through the legal fees. Trust me, they tend to be pretty steep. So please continue to donate to those places, because bail and legal fees are pretty steep. I know some lawyers are actually starting to offer stuff pro bono, and also, of course, there are some states like DC that do not offer cash bail. So it's very important that we give all the support we can get, and of course, all the memorial funds that have happened, the George Floyd Memorial Fund, the Ahmaud Arbery Memorial Fund, the various memorial funds that are out there. Please contribute to those to help the families grieve properly. That is very, very important. And I've also restarted voice acting. As of 3 days ago, I've officially been laid off my job as a tech, and I really miss my job. I really loved it. I really love the community surrounding it and being able to give back. But I know ultimately it was going to be a struggle to keep up with all the incomes of all the staffers in my department, and also they had to make the easiest cut, which is through the students, thus me, and various others. So obviously, I'm not bitter for the cut that they had to make, but at the same time, though, it is a bit painful. So right now, I am trying to find some voice acting jobs to keep myself going, which obviously hasn't been easy because the jobs have been being snatched up left and right. Just this morning, when I looked on ACX, which is like the audiobook production site, two of the jobs I was about to go for got swooped up. So I know it's partially because of anxiety, but also just not being fast enough. It's a very competitive industry, so it's very important to just keep on top of things, produce, and do things when necessary. I'm only one person, so there's only so much that I can do by myself. I want to focus on the acting and not so much on the editing. I can do editing, but trying to do both at the same time, it burns me out very quickly. So another thing that I've been doing is card readings. I recently, let me get back on screen for this. Hello. My room is a mess. There's construction going on in the background, but frankly, revolution is messy. So of course, I don't really care anymore. It's where I started. This is where we're going to continue, etc. So I've recently acquired the Sakura cards from Card Captor Sakura, which, funnily enough, Netflix just uploaded the entire series minus Clear Card on Monday. So if you have not watched the show, go ahead and check it out. It's really awesome. So I also got the cloud cards here as well. So I got these two. I may get the clear cards at some point if I happen to get into the series. Probably it's pretty good that I won't, but I'll definitely check it out at some point on Crunchyroll. But in case you don't have Crunchyroll, Netflix is another way you can watch the show. So definitely check that out. And then I think the film itself is on Amazon Prime. Not sponsored by either platform. Just wanted to let you know where you can find them. So for each purchase of a reading that you do, I will basically put a third of the purchase towards the various charities that I've listed in the chat and I've listed down below in the description. So any way you can help, that would be awesome. But you don't have to do financial contributions. Just you showing up here is a big contribution of itself, because I am a Black creator, I'm a person of color creator. So it's very so just you showing up here is a very, very important message that you do support the initiatives and the people that need help the most. So you donating to my coffee page will help me upgrade my equipment because it is overdue for an upgrade. But also, it will just help me not only pay the bills, but also be able to help other people at the same time. Because there's some people I really want to help. So whenever I'm not streaming, which I admit it has been a long time since I've streamed properly. I apologize for that. I know you've been looking forward to gaming content, but I just haven't had the energy for it. I really haven't. But the time that I do, I will have energy for it. You'll see it. You'll see it. But obviously, this is not very high quality. I wish I can go a little bit higher quality. But yeah, but the donations or the purchases that you do on Fiverr towards me will not only help me pay the bills, will not only help me upgrade, but also be able to help me help various other people. You don't need much. Just need whatever to start. I have coffee, which is only $3. I have Fiverr. I have like a range of Fiverr gigs that go from $5 to $10. The nerdy readings is $5. Whether you go with coffee or Fiverr, you will get a reading either way. And of course, another payment method works for me. I also accept various other payment methods. All you do is just DM me, either through Twitter or through some of the other mediums that I put in the description once again. And I also accept, for those who actually do some card slinging, I can do exchange. I also accept an exchange. You can read me, I can read you. So yeah, there are many ways we can do this. So yeah, I realized that I left the envelopes that I need to do the absentee balloting in downstairs. So I'm going to be right back. Please stay tuned. And if you have any questions or comments, or most especially any well wishes you can put towards the people that need it at this time, please put it in the stream or the comments below, because we need to hear them. We need to hear those words of love and peace here and now. All right, I'll be right back. I am back. Also, my voice acting scripts because I'm planning to audition right after this. Oops. There we go. So we got 3 viewers on the channel today, which I am really, really grateful. This is maybe besides the screening that like the one raid I managed to get earlier this year is probably the most I tend to have consistently. So thank you all so much for watching this small channel. In many ways, I feel like I sometimes don't deserve the views that I have. But I know I do, and more, in a lot of ways. And it's a lot to get used to. It's a lot to get used to. A lot to think about. And it's a lot to feel. Because, I'm not gonna lie, I live in a most privileged situation. My dad's a first responder. My mom's an educator. And now, as of earlier this month, also the major in family development. She also recently became a citizen. And the original plan, since she just became a citizen, was that we were going to go to the polls together to vote for the very first time. But obviously, between COVID and now this, that's not happening. So I got a couple of absentee ballots. I don't have one for the primary in November, but I do have the one for the primary in summer. Originally, it was supposed to happen in April, but obviously COVID interfered with the elections. So now, our primary, I'm from Delaware, our primary got pushed to July 7th and September, respectively. So I'm doing mail-in, so we're doing mail-in ballots. I've never missed a single election ever since I got the right to vote. And I always participate. Like, even when I went away to college, out of state, even if it was only for that 2 years that I was doing it, even the times when I was out of state, I still voted. I switched my registration to Pennsylvania for that 1 year. I voted, and I watched the results, see what happened. I've never missed a single election for any reason. So, I take my right to vote very seriously, because many people, not necessarily the ancestors that I have, maybe some distant ones, maybe that happen to get over here in this country, but so many people have sacrificed their lives and their reputations. We often praise the lives that are lost in the sake of revolution, but we also forget some people before losing lives were losing their livelihoods, were losing their reputations, just so that people have the right to be themselves, have the right to live a life that they deserve to live. And oftentimes, they don't recover. Let's be frank here. Like, a lot of people are still, in fact, I bet a lot of those people are still recovering today. They're not getting the credit that they deserve. The credit gets passed on to somebody else, or it gets forgotten. We're only now starting to I think it was only this year, I think, that some of the credit was starting to be given where it's due. And now, I feel like with all of this, it feels like now we're restarting all over again in trying to give respect, in trying to give the respect where it's due, where do we need to criticize, and to avoid collateral damage, because there's a lot of innocent people in the middle of this. There's a lot of innocent people getting hurt. Some people will just call it, oh, it's just collateral, it's just the price of revolution. No! There's a way to do revolution without harming innocents in the process. What happened to innocent before proven guilty? In fact, I know the probability is pretty good because of this broadcast, if not right now, then probably a few years down the line, that I probably will lose a reputation over this. That I probably will lose subscribers over this. That I probably wouldn't even have work because of this. At this point, I don't really care. I'm in my 20s. I can restart. I can recover. That's not a privilege that most people have. Whether it's age, demographic, or just ability, period. I honestly realize I'm in a very, very privileged position right now. And with this privilege, I'm going to use it with every single good that I have. That means amplify the voices that have been unsung for the longest time. That means contributing to the organizations that need the help right now. And most importantly, voting with my pen and voting with my dollar. Those are the two biggest impacts you can give right now. Voting with your pen and voting with your dollar. Spend it towards brands that absolutely matter to you and actually contribute to the good of the world. Avoid the things that don't help. But for example, recently there's been a massive protest of L'Oreal products because of some of the tactics that they've been putting towards the models and some of the policies they have with their products. Thankfully, it turns out, I don't really use L'Oreal products that much. And their corporation is pretty huge. They own quite a number of things. Garnier and NYX, or NYX. Some people would call it NYX. The L'Oreal Paris, obviously. I think Maybelline's under them too. But it's a huge number of companies. And Urban Decay. I did not know they owned Urban Decay until now. Which is a shame, because I actually was thinking of buying their honey palette. Their Naked Honey palette. I probably never will now, afterwards. So unless those companies separate and apologize for how much they messed up, they're not seeing another penny from me. It's that simple. I'm going to use the stuff that I have. I'm going to use the stuff that I already have. But after that, no more coins. Since I've been overdue for replacing a lot of my makeup anyway. So, that works out. I think the other thing that we especially need to learn right now, I mean, I know this period isn't it, but another thing we need to learn right now is people do change. It's hard to do it, but it can be done. I think the most important thing is, yes, we need to call people out, call companies out on the things that they do. Yes, we need to also give people reminders of making sure they don't go back to that dark place that they're in. But more importantly, and it's a thing that we especially need to learn now, especially in the era of the internet, is give the companies and the people the space to act on the change. That's the one part I think we're missing right now. Give the space to act on the change. Give them a chance to walk the walk and talk the talk. It's not that hard. Ooh, I haven't eaten. So that's very, very important to me right now. So another thing that we absolutely need to do is find ways to endorse the things that we care about. Doesn't have to be in consumption. It can be in word, in artistry. Because I think with this situation, COVID, the protests, or various other things, what this has shown is how much we need to, and we can help each other. There's so many things that we can do to help each other. And no law can go against that. Being compassionate to somebody is above paper. How you do it is very important, though. Gotta do it from here. From here as well, but especially from down here. If these aren't working together, you got a problem. So, I've been quietly donating to these organizations. I don't expect any attention. With the exception of if there's a representative of the charity that's been talking online, I do say that I have donated, but I don't broadcast that. I just do it. I just go ahead and do it. If I happen to go through the wrong thing, I apologize. I rectify the mistake. I move on. There are some things we can learn from children in that respect. That children, in some ways, that let go of things a lot more easily than adults do. Emphasis on some ways. There are other ways that are very similar to adults. Elders and adults really need to learn from each other. They really, really do. And obviously, being a teenager, being in your 20s, you're straddling in the middle. And now, when you're getting into your 30s, especially what I'm doing right now, now you're taking that first leap of faith into the genuine adult world. The fact that your actions genuinely do have weight on the rest of the world. What's the first step you're going to do to make your world better? And the first place that I have learned through this quarantine period is within yourself, within your spirit, within your heart, within your mind. Whatever aspect you consider yourself. Mind, body, spirit, soul, consciousness. Fill in the blank of whatever title you prefer. Your conscience, your Jiminy Cricket, your angel and devil. Whatever part that what you call your innermost self, your GPS, your guidance system. Very important to recalculate, and go towards the avenue of change. So on that note, I'm going to start off with a little bit of an intentional meditation. This is a thing I've been doing every night. It's been calming me down, as well as bike rides. Lately, I have been anxious to bike ride around my neighborhood. And that's sad. Because I know my neighbors won't do anything to me, but I still have the fear that they will. Skepticism is warranted, but when it gets to the point where you don't live your life, it's really, really sad. I started taking that leap of faith yesterday. I took a leap of faith today when I went out to get the mail this morning. And I will continue to take those leaps of faith as much as I can. I've been learning to take small leaps of faith. Mostly with my wallet, I admit. But also with the small actions I do every single day. From cleaning the living room to this room. This room's been a project lately. It's been months. I still haven't been able to get it right. To starting my own card reading business. That's something I couldn't have imagined at all last year. I was thinking we could make debut at the cons. Well, instead, considering circumstances, internet, so much better. So far, I have not had a single customer. I've had false messages of offers online, and oftentimes oftentimes it feels like a void. Like I'm speaking to a void. I've been having this feeling since the moment I started producing content for the internet, that nobody's listening. Somebody out there may come across this. So the person out there who is coming across this, thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for looking at this. Especially in my humblest moment right now, where I have yet to lift off the ground. On that note, let's get started with the voting process. Also, by the way, there's a lunar eclipse on Friday, and apparently there's a solar eclipse on the 21st, or 20th, right on the summer solstice. That is interesting. There's also supposed to be another, like a lunar eclipse on the 29th and 30th, around when usually election results start coming out. Talk about 2020 being super auspicious. 2019 was just the warm-up. Oh boy. So, something I've been doing every night. Been a huge source of comfort. And I'll do it for you for the stream today. Is that beautiful? It's my first 2-wick candle ever used. It's really nice. I got the cinnamon bun scent. It's great. Alright. Put that aside there. And then I'm going to read a prayer from this book called Prayers to the Goddess, a 39-day devotional by a priestess named Brandy Osset. The last name, obviously, a representation of the goddess Isis, the Egyptian mother goddess of magic. My dream is to become an interfaith minister, and this time period especially has been very trying on the religious community, especially with the event in Lafayette Square, where a riot occurred, all because the president wanted to take a photo in front of a church. And the other thing is that the pastor who was running that church, got forcibly pulled out as well of his own church. He didn't even enter the building. And that's unacceptable. Using an image associated with peace, showing up in a sanctuary, a religious building, and not even entering, let alone following the values that he supposedly respects. And that's totally unacceptable to me. I'm studying theology at Harvard University's Extension School right now. That display alone really irks me. Why would you disturb a place of peace? It's like that scene from the Disney version of Notre Dame, where the eyes of Notre Dame are watching everything that Frollo is doing. He can't do that righteous act in front of them because they know deep down how he is in his soul. So he's got to do penance for it. And even if you're not Christian or Catholic, this should be really upsetting. If you desecrate a sacred space with violence, like a Christian sacred space, a major one at that, no less, What about the smaller populations that need the help? Or need the support? Or just want to worship the way they want to worship? If he's able to take down a faith as big as Christianity, he could take on anybody. So it's very important that you remember your right to pray, to think, to feel in whatever way you please. So, ministers, pastors, priests, priestesses, deacons, fellow novitiates, fellow ministers, ministers in training, students, please speak up about this. This is very important right now. This cannot be walked over. It is a fundamental human right. So, to start with this meditation, I'm doing this. Sorry, this starts voting. We're gonna start with this little prayer. A couple of goddesses that have really impressed me ever since I was a child. I'm an otaku, as you've probably seen so many times in this channel. But I also have a lot of respect for the various deities that exist. And one story that has stuck out to me especially, ever since I was a child, came back into my life years later, and especially now that, even though with some of us still in quarantine, I'm not considered high risk, but I am considered I'm not considered high risk in terms of infection, but I am considered at risk because of my demographic. So as a result, I am like, even though things have been reopening lately, I still am having to stay inside for the most part. I have been shopping for food. I have been exercising in the park, so there has been things permitted in Delaware. I haven't been able to go to a doctor's appointment though, but I think it's only now that they're starting to get like the routine checkup things reopened. So pretty soon I will do that, because like, I need my glasses. I am overdue for them. The age is starting to catch up to me. So this story, even more so, has been relatable now more than ever. So, it refers to two goddesses. Amaterasu, most of you will know, is the goddess of the rising sun, the goddess of the sun. And Usume, the goddess of laughter and entertainment. And the Tsubaki Grand American Shrine in the Midwest, the first and I think the only Shinto shrine in the mainland U.S. There's another one that's in Hawaii, though. There's a couple in Hawaii. Actually, no, that's Buddhist. Never mind. The Tsubaki Grand Shrine of America is dedicated to Usume. So, essentially, in terms of the shrine itself, so in terms of the story of these two goddesses, essentially, Amaterasu, basically, because she is the goddess of the sun, she basically is if we had to like rank the goddesses like X-Men, she's basically like Storm level. She's like an Omega level goddess. She gives life to everything. She gives sustenance to the fields. She gives light and beauty to the world. She gives life to the humans, the plants, the animals, everything. But then, one day, Amaterasu is overcome with grief. Whether it's because of like the fact that she had to take out her brother Susano, because he was doing all these evil acts, or the populace being ungrateful, or just some sort of disconnect happening. She's overcome with grief. And so she locks herself away in a cave. Secludes herself in a cave. And as a result, no sunshine goes through all the earth. None of the other deities can really do anything to help the situation, because Amaterasu is the goddess of the sun. The sun gives life. The sun gives light. Good mirror to this is Oshun being kicked out of the pantheon for a little bit. Because I think her contributions are minor, or Annapurna in Hindu mythology, in Hindu stories. I'm careful to say mythology because I don't think there's like a falseness to this. It's just, I think the aspects are very similar. Yeah, like the equivalence of how Oshun or Annapurna stepped away from their posts, and you see the mass effect of their absence as a result of not being there, because they were considered minor or they were slighted in some way. So her sister, Ame no Usume, the goddess of laughter and entertainment, decides to hold a party in front of her cave to draw her out. And she does like blue, bawdry forms of dance in front of like a sake barrel or something. And she makes the whole world laugh. She makes the deities laugh. She makes the humans laugh. She makes the animals laugh. She makes everybody laugh. And she brings hope to the people. Amaterasu then hears the commotion, and she comes out of her cave to see what's going on. And then Usume and a couple of the deities pulls out a mirror to let Amaterasu know the truth. Let Amaterasu know for herself that she is beautiful, that she is very important to the world, but most importantly to herself. And it's very important to believe in what she can deliver to the world. So that's why bells and mirrors and the circular dances are very, very big in Japanese culture. It's because of this story right here of two sisters, sister goddesses, and mothers to the world, helping each other out. That's incredible, isn't it? That's really incredible. So I think especially for this is an attitude that we especially need right now, is to find creative ways that we can help out, even if it seems very unconventional. Okay, I've been at this for like 43 minutes. Pretty soon I gotta get food. And also, there's an interfaith gathering I'm gonna be going on Discord. Not my own server though, but there's an interfaith service that's gonna be happening pretty soon. So I don't want to miss out on that. So let me get started with this. Amaterasu Omikami, goddess of light and sun, you hid your splendor from the world, and humanity suffered. But through the laughter and joy of Usume, you made your way back. Allow me to learn from you, Amaterasu Omikami. Guide me from the darkness of the cave, heal the sadness and doubt within me, and allow me to see my true spirit. Show me how to look at my reflection with honor, respect, and reverence. And I, like you, can bless the world with my beauty. Uzume, goddess of laughter, you are proof I can live life without shame, and laugh without fear. Teach me how to give my smile freely, how to laugh with my whole body and soul, so that I may release the hurts of the past and move into my joyous future. Thank you, mothers, for your love of me. May it be so, so mote it be. And and so it is. Alright, so let's get this voting started, shall we? Oof, my feet have fallen asleep. Can you tell? I am sitting on my floor. I also recommend this one book by my history professor, who is now Professor Emeritus. Who has written a book about voting rights. Let me see if I can get the title of the book precisely. Give me one sec. Bending Toward Justice. That's what it's called. Yeah. So he published this back in 2013, and it's about the unsung heroes of the Voting Rights Act. Here's Goodreads profile in case you want to check him out. I'll post it in the restream. I had a copy of the whatchamacallit. I have a copy of the book on my bedside table. I still read it. So, Professor May, if you haven't talk, see this, hello. But yeah, this book is very important because it talks about the unsung heroes of the Voting Rights Act. Because, I mean, everybody thinks about, like, Bloody Sunday or Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, and there's various other people who have contributed to the Voting Rights Act, which they are just as important. But there are many other figures that were just as, if not more important, than the big names that we saw in the movement. And it's very important that we acknowledge those names. So that book that I put in the chat, that's part of that history that we absolutely need to acknowledge. So please check that out. Give him some coins too. It's very important. I also recommend Erica Armstrong Dunbar's book about Own a Judge, about how she ran away from George Washington. That was a really good book. Oh my gosh. They also influenced in turn the some of the slavery acts in Jim Crow as a result of Own a Judge's efforts to run away. It's really awesome. Again, check it out. Also, Dr. Dunbar, if you haven't watched this, hello as well. I really like your stuff. And finally, Tiffany Gale, Dr. Gale, hello as well. I know so many people who have written these books. She also happened to the last couple of people that I've mentioned, they actually managed to end up on PBS and Vox because of the things they've done. Dr. Gale also wrote a book about how beauty shops are very, very important to African American political culture. So just check out all this stuff. Just check out all the stuff that I mentioned. Read them for yourself. Tell me what you think. They're all important pieces of literature that have happened in the last 7 to 10 years, and they're still relevant today. So please go ahead and take a look at those. But yeah, without further ado, my absentee ballot. So, I don't think it's too late to do the fall election. I think you could still register for that. I know for most places, like, the deadline was, like, May 31st, but I think it's still going... I think it's, like, on a rolling basis now because of COVID. The first time absentee voting. So, there's an official stamp, an official ballot envelope, then here is the vote. Here is the vote itself. This is for a school referendum to basically help with our public school system. Vote on that too, because that's going to make a huge influence. And of course, instructions. So, read instructions carefully. If ballot tells you to vote for one choice, fill in one oval. If the ballot lets you vote for more than one choice, fill in no more than the number stated in the directions. Use a pen with dark blue or black ink, or use regular pencil. Do not use other colors. Completely fill in the oval to the right of your choice as shown above. It's basically kind of like those infamous SAT AP exam test sheets, those Scantron sheets, which I may debate in another video, because College Board did something really ridiculous with this year's AP exams. Like, wow, I just learned about this today, and not gonna lie, brought back some flashbacks about my own AP and SAT exams. By the way, AP, it's supposed to help with your college major, especially reduce the work. Unfortunately, it only helps with the science majors. Like, it only reduces the time with the science majors. All the other majors is completely useless. I took two English APs. English language and English literature. Two completely different topics, but for the same department. So theoretically, that should have cut down about a semester's worth of work. I wouldn't have had to do E110 or anything like that. Guess what? I still had to take the full course load, even though I got 4 and 5 respectively on those subjects. I know partially it's the university policy, but still, with all that work that I did, you'd think it would go towards something, but no. Not all APs are treated equally, guys. So, yeah. Issue with College Board, but also issue with the school. So please talk about this. There's actually a pretty good YouTube series about this as well. So I will do. I think I might actually do a separate video about this. So because man, does this upset me. But anyway, so write-in a candidate. Write-in votes are not permitted in primary elections. Go to the block in the write-in column opposite the office name. Fill in the oval on the right side of the block and print your name of the person for whom you want to vote in the block. Review your ballot. Make sure you've made the selections for each office for which you want to vote. Contact the Department of Elections Absentee County if you need help or need a replacement ballot. Then, after marking your ballot, fold it and put it into the ballot envelope. Sign and seal, and then mail. Nothing too complicated. And return the ballot as soon as possible. Allow time for mail, especially if it's being returned from outside the U.S. And return the ballot so that it gets to the Department of Elections by 8 p.m. on the day of the election. All right. Let's vote. All right. So I'm going to read this very, 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 very carefully. So yeah, it's not too complicated. The postage is already taken care of for you. All you need to do is just say just to sign the back, tape it up, send it in. It's not that complicated. I mean, if they decide to drop the sickness only clause, I would probably do mail-in elections for the majority of them, because this is pretty nice. So this is the school district referendum, which is due by June 9th. So it's a good thing I opened it now. This will go effective 2022, so I'm going to say 4. Section 2 to be approvable. First 2020, okay. That's not bad. And also, it helps with the English Language Arts curriculum. I'm going to say yes, obviously. Okay. I feel like I'm back in some ways, I feel like I'm back in college. Because, back in college, I didn't participate in, UD's SGA, but I did participate in Bryn Mawr's SGA, and I kind of reminded back of when I was trying to do quorum. Like, we were trying to do quorum and voting on measures. Though with that one, unfortunately, you were required to show up in person, even though most people were just not feeling like going in person. So I think maybe Brimore's like revised this now. If they did like digital voting instead, like digital for those who just didn't feel like showing up or couldn't show up because of school, or they're in the dining hall so that people can actually eat while doing this, that would be awesome. Really. All right. Ones. That's not bad. Ooh. Okay. Here we go. So this one is about the So section 3 of this referendum that I'm doing is talking about issuing bonds to help with renovations of the school. Now section 4 is about the type of bond that they should use to repair the school. So let's see. Oof, my legs. I'm thinking the school board might be onto something, because it's a lot of money. Because I'm not seeing an amount that the other guys are doing. Okay. Alright. So that's our first vote done. I don't have a liquor. Apologies. Bending. Okay, there we go. All right. Sorry. All right. So the school district referendum officially voted for it. Yay! So, I do solemnly swear, affirm that I am a resident of the state of Delaware and I am qualified to vote in school elections in the school district listed on the adjacent label. I do also solemnly swear and affirm under penalty of perjury that I have not received or accepted or offered to receive or accept any money or item of value as compensation, inducement, or reward for giving or withholding of a vote at this election, nor that I'm acting under duress or threat of duress or harm. Obviously, we could use this video as evidence. This is all 100% my choice, not being paid or anything, and I have not received or accepted any compensation for this. So, vote is done. One down, one to go. I was like, keep your voting memorabilia. Alright, so it's a different envelope entirely. Blue. So that way you know for sure that you voted for whatever election it is. All right. So number 2, this time for the presidential election. Put the same instructions here. So this time... Oh! Okay. So this is the official absentee ballot of the election we were supposed to go through on the 28th, but got pushed forward. And according to this, we've got 3 candidates on here. All right. Come on, get in there. Get in there. Did say 1, right? I gotta be sure. I gotta be sure. Pick this paper for 1. Yes, vote for 1. Okay. Ooh, my legs are asleep. Okay. Oh yeah, apologies. Okay. Now, I do solemnly swear that to the best of my knowledge, I'm eligible to vote in the state of Delaware, and that my voting address as it appears in the label of this envelope. I also do solemnly swear affirm under perjury, penalty of perjury, that I have not received or accepted or offered to receive or accept any money or other item of value as compensation, inducement, or reward for the giving or holding of a vote of this election, nor that I'm acting under duress or threat of duress or harm. Evidence. Okay? I'm having fun with this. I wish I had some wine. Actually, I think I do have wine downstairs. All right. All right, guys. We're done. It was that easy, guys. All right. Now these 2 babies are going to go in the mail today. These I'm going to keep in my journal in the back. So I don't have to worry about... Oof. No, I don't have to worry about carrying loads of paper anymore. And hopefully I'll be able to vote in person. Ugh. In November. So, fingers crossed. But yeah, this is the beginning of a revolution. We cannot forget the changes that we need to make, both inside and out. So, if you look at my Fiverr listing, you'll see that, like I also done a cloud card reading for myself, mainly. And these cards do not lie. They are very, very... They're very harsh in their truth, especially the cloud cards one. The cloud cards. Well, I use Sakura cards in this case, but nevertheless, they are very, very blunt when it comes to their truth. They are very blunt when it comes to their message. I didn't do it like the traditional way that they say that I should do it, but it's very blunt. It's very accurate. I think it applies not only to me. I think it's the message that applies not only to me, but applies to all of us, really. So I think this is this is a great time to share what I've experienced. And in fact, in a way, I'm actually feeling the reading right now. That's really funny. Okay. So, the first card that popped up was the dream. What are those dreams that you want to fulfill? What are those things that you want to do in your life? In the world? Fill in the blank. Are you being too idealistic? Are you getting too mired in the details of it all? Are you getting too lost in illusion? Or are you not getting lost enough? Are you not allowing yourself to play around and accept that your dreams are totally possible? Most of us are actually suffering from the latter. Believe it or not. We think we're doing the former, but no. We're suffering from the latter. We are forgetting our ability to dream and to make things come true. Which brings me to my next card, which is the loop. In the Quell version, obviously, it's more of an infinity symbol here because, like, Sakura's main symbol is stars. It's a star here. There's a lesson that we still haven't learned yet. There's something that we haven't, even after all these protests. I mean, I'm thinking about that one Twitter video that there were 3 generations of protesters: a 40-something, a 30-something, and a 16-year-old. All men. And the 30-something was, like, the 40-something was saying to the 16-year-old, you're going to be back here in the next 10 years. You're going to be back on the ground right here in the next 10 years. So please, for God's sake, please figure out a way to do something differently because this isn't it. The protests are necessary, but the violence, all this stuff, this is not it. Like, this is not it. We need to find something more permanent. You're angry at 16. I'm angry in my 40s. He's angry in his 30s. Please do not repeat the cycle. Though, I think all 3 of them can make a change now. The guy in his 40s has the experience and the wisdom to see the pitfalls. The guy in his 30s had the youth and the experience to pull it off. And the guy who's 16, he will live through all the he will live through the changes firsthand. We'll see the side effects of everything. He'll be the litmus test. And the guy who's in his 30s and 40s will be able to see how it's affecting him, and they will change accordingly. So I think he's underestimating the power. Like, I think the older ones are underestimating the power that they genuinely have. And that whatever affects him, whatever affects the younger generation, is certainly going to affect the older ones down the line. So, please, elders, do not underestimate your power. And young people, whether in your teens, in your 20s, borderline 30s like myself, or even in your 40s, if you're young at heart, more importantly, if you're young at heart, please do not forget you do have an impact on this world. I just did it through voting. Not that hard. Just donate. Share videos. Do whatever you need to do to make sure these stories are being heard. Okay? Okay. So that brings me to my next card. This is very perfect timing. The shot. Take your shot on the thing that you do believe in. Do not procrastinate. It's very easy to procrastinate. Find some way to get over that internal resistance. Wayne Gretzky. I know, he's been overquoted, but it's a very, very good quote. You do miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. Because it's all in your head. It's all hypothetical. You don't get to see how it plays out. The loop. Also another dangerous thing. Trying to do the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. For some, that's the definition of insanity. Apologies to the actually chronically ill out there, for lack of better terms, but yeah, it's just unwise. Let's just go with that. It's unwise to, unless unless you're a scientist, it's pretty much unwise to try to do the same thing and expect entirely different results. Which brings me to the next strategy. The next thing. The fight. We are fighting right now. Not only on the outside, but also on the inside. And I'll put these two cards together, actually. The storm. It is very easy to get mired in your negative emotions. Very easy to get mired in your stress, in your sadness. Some of us have gone through dark nights of the soul. I've gone through quite a few this year. Some of us may have noticed even like our anxiety and depression have gotten worse. Not only because we're staying outside of our own element, with the fact we're staying indoors much longer than we really should, but also just there's so much negativity being mired at us every single day. If it's not the news, certainly social media. If not social media, it could be other people, certainly. Of course, that dabbles in the details, really. It could be in our own heads, even. In our own heads. We can go to the darkest of places. So, if something's not working, revise your strategy. Do everything totally differently. If you tend to speak out a lot, stay back and listen. If you tend to listen or be silent most of the time, do the opposite. Speak out. Say something. If you tend to keep your emotions in, this is what the storm's also referring to, this is how to acknowledge those feelings. You can't hold them in because they're going to vent out somewhere else. They're going to blow up somewhere else. Whereas with your loved ones, whether it's in health or your job, it's not in a bubble. It's not in a bubble. It's going to transfer somewhere else in a place that you don't want it to go. Or even worse, social media. Like, why else do we have all these rants and all these different things going up online? It's because if socially we are not permitted to feel these things, if socially we're not permitted to even express these feelings, we're gonna output it somewhere else. We're gonna output it on social media rants, things that we unintentionally hurt each other with. We're gonna output it with violence. We're gonna output it with various adverse things. Anger does have a time and place and a way to be productive. But this is when you hold it in for too long. This is when it blows up to a degree like this, there is a deeper issue. Much deeper issue going on that needs to be healed. And this brings me to my final one. Jikan. The time. This is the time. Have faith that things will be different. Have faith that there will be a positive turn. Doesn't matter how long it takes, but there will be a positive turn. That whatever things you're doing right now will affect us years, decades, centuries, millennia. Sometimes even a few minutes to an hour down the line. Small things do make a big difference. So, and more importantly, don't be afraid of the future. There's a lot of uncertainty right now. There's a lot of things that we do not know. But it's very important that we are not afraid. Let us embrace the possibility right now. And of course, not everybody's a revolutionary. And that's okay too. That's okay too. Permit yourself not to be the revolutionary or the radical person or the educator. Permit yourself to not occupy that for a few minutes or even 24 hours or for a week. We're not all representatives. We're not elected representatives. Some of us didn't even choose to be this. Don't force yourself in there if you don't want to do it. Give yourself a chance to step back, relax, breathe. When you want to step back into it again, feel free to do so. Just don't force somebody into it. Just let them make their own decision. Have faith, believe, hope. Doing another quote today. My quote game's on a roll today. Rebellions are built on hope. Just do yourself a favor. Just write down the things that you know absolutely sure that will stay with you. And then carry that love with you. Carry that strength with you for the rest of the time that you need it. Okay. So I shall end with this another prayer. Praising the Infinite from the same book. I honor the goddess of all things, known and unknown. She who is made of shadow and light, chaos and order, who provides a balance to my heart and mind, and loves me as I am. I honor the God of all things, seen and unseen, he who is made of strength and passivity, who cradles and sets free, who teaches me the power of speech and silence, and loves me as I am. Bless me. And blessed, I didn't say blessed be. Ooh, blessed be. That's how it is. Okay. On that note, our absentee ballot has officially ended. And I just realized, I just gave myself Sage Goddess vibes right here. Shout out to Athena Parakis and Simon Corral and just all the people that have been helping me the past 2 years. I just realized that was just very Athena vibes right here. And I actually kind of enjoy it. Anyway. Put all of your positive intentions in this thing. I know people have various schools of thought on blowing out candles for like an attention. I kind of am a little bit of a Catholic school of thought where the smoke is the prayers being raised up to the universe. But yeah. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Oh yeah, that's satisfying. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to this live stream. I know it was a little bit rambly. I tend to script these things. Maybe I definitely should, because I feel like there's a lot of points that I totally missed out on covering. I try not to be political with this thing, but in this case, I think at this point, I think this is the classic 20s to 30s transition where there were just some things that you just don't give a damn about anymore, and I think this might be one of them. So, if I happen to be talking to a void constantly, I don't really care. As long as I got my voice out there, as long as I'm still speaking, I'm still talking, I'm still writing, I'm still playing, I don't really care. So, if you're supporting me in that journey, I thank you for your consideration, for all your love and support. And if you don't, I'm past the point of caring anymore. I'm trying to pay the bills right now. And also make sure the people are also able to pay the bills and have all of us live the dream, live the lives that we've always wanted. Doesn't have to be that big house with the white picket fence like kind of thing. An apartment's fine. A small townhouse like this is fine. Even one of those vans, like those vans you go across the country, that's totally fine too. We should be able to have permission to do that. That's what should be our true American dream. To be able to live and not be able to worry about whether or not you're going to be shot around the corner or get judged or without any consideration of your character or not given a chance. I mean, granted, some things are required by education, but potential ability should also be a factor. A lot of times, I think the reason why I often get afraid of applying for jobs sometimes is because most of the time, the research is shown actually as well, and it's the bias / project implicit science is shown as well, that a lot of times women are biased towards the things they've already done before, while men are judged towards the things they could do. I'm sorry for the binary research here, but that's how it came out essentially. And the biggest reversal on that is for women to express how much they could do if given the chance. And how their past experience ties into it. So that's something I'm still learning how to do, but I hope that will give you some encouragement. I should put a link of that research in the description that I found somewhere. But yeah, I found out this, and it was like, wow, this changes everything. I mean, because of that knowledge, I have been able to get because of that knowledge, I was able to get my old job in the first place. And my field is completely unrelated. I was an English major when I started off in college. Now I'm a theology major. I got a job in the stage tech industry. That's completely unrelated. But that's also because I also did some stuff in the library. Those are tech related, even though it's not my major field of study or anything. I just had a lot of experience with that kind of stuff because I did a lot of that stuff at home too. I mean, I do complicated measures just to be able to stream games for you. So that should speak volumes about how much experience I have right now. So on that note, thank you so much for watching this video. I know this is really unusual compared to before, but I actually am filming a different video about how I started biking, because my biking journey is very, very important to me, and it's been a huge shape of how I've been changing my perspective now. So here's on my social media in case you're curious about all the stuff that I've been doing. Please feel free to donate. You're not required to do so. Just you being here as a presence on this channel is wonderful enough. In terms of events, yeah, honestly, I haven't been gaming live streaming in a while. It's mainly because I've just been too tired or just not in the mood to do it. So whenever you'll see me next, it's probably going to be a gaming stream, but I don't know. I really don't know. So we've got not one, not two, but 3 specials going on right now on my Fiverr shop. So if you use the code Earth, you'll get extra runes or cards for clarification in your reading. This reading is good until the summer solstice, which is happening on June 20th, 21st. So you've got until the 21st to redeem that. I also have the Ostara code that was available in the spring solstice, but you basically have until the summer to redeem that as well if you did that. That's basically like an extra free reading if you want to use that. Then currently I've got the code Blackout, which is a supplement, which will give you a supplemental archetype for your reading. So that means if, let's say, you bought my usual like $5 to $15 range listing, that a $5 to $15 listing, which is more spiritually oriented, I will add a fictional aspect like a cloud card or a Sailor Moon card. Main thing is Sailor Moon card, but I can add a cloud card if you prefer that. So one of these, if you order the more spiritually oriented one. Or I will do the flip side of that for the for the cloud card / otaku reading, where I will add a goddess or an angel aspect that you should consider for your end. So that way you get multiple dimensions to the same issue, or the same thing you're meditating on. So that's what I mean by archetype. I can also add a rune on top of there too if I wanted to. You can use the code, like for this period, I don't really care too much. You can use the codes concurrently if you want to. Most people places don't. I will allow you to use them concurrently. Blackout or Earth. Blackout will basically go into the entirety of 2020. Actually, I'll say this now. This will go until around this time next year in 2021. So you have plenty of time to use the code Blackout if you want to use it to get some clarification. And like I said earlier, I'm offering the nerdy card readings. You've got $5 if you do it on Fiverr, or $3 if you do it on Coffee. And a third of the proceeds will be going towards various charities. Some of them I've listed down below. Odin 45th anniversary. So far, it's been saying on the site that it is still going on as planned. So it's happening on June 14th. In terms of whether I'm going to be able to be there in person, that is a big debate right now. Probably is pretty good. I probably will, provided that things do calm down in Philly in the next 2 weeks. But other than that, the one thing I can guarantee is the Renaissance Fair in the fall. So, until then, thank you so much. Many blessings to you. God bless. Goddess bless. With your intellect bless. Whatever blessings you need right now. I just wish you all the love and support and peace during this period. We will get through this. If you want to talk, of course, I have a Discord server. Links in the description in the chat below, of course. And until next time, of course, may your heart be your guiding key. Take care, everybody. Bye.